We broadcast Wounds of Waziristan and got tremendous response to it. Now, one of the key figures who you interview in it, Karim Khan, is gone, at least for the moment. Explain who he is, his significance.
Karim Khan is actually one of the first people to bring a case in the Pakistani courts about drone attacks. So he's the one who started to bring cases forward, and he has been working with the lawyer Shehzad Akbar, who has been fighting on behalf of drone survivors and families of the dead. And Karim was working with Shehzad to help, not only in his own case, but also to help and assist in other cases that were being brought forward in Pakistani courts to demand restitution and demand transparency for these attacks.
Madiha, can you give us a sense of how many such cases have been filed and whether other anti-drone activists in Pakistan have been targeted in any way or, in fact, picked up in the way that he was? Karim Khan.
So Karim is the first that I know of that has been picked up who is an anti-drone activist, but disappearances in Pakistan are very common. It's a common state tactic. It has been happening in Balochistan, where there is a separatist movement for a long time now. And in fact, there are families protesting. There were mass graves found in Balochistan of missing people quite recently, only a few weeks ago. So this is a very common tactic by the state. And now clearly the Pakistani establishment, which is to say the intelligence agencies and the Pakistani army, want to send a message to the anti-drone movement to tell us to tell the movement to shut up, basically.
I want to go back to your film, Wounds of Waziristan. In this clip, Karim speaks to you, Madiha Tahir.
You asked me a question about terrorism. Can I ask you one? What is the definition of terrorism or terrorist?
I don't know. What do you think it is?
I think there is no bigger terrorist than Obama or Bush. Those who have weaponry like drones, who drop bombs on us while we are in our homes. There are no greater terrorists than them.
There again, Karim Khan, who went missing last week, and the people who took him. How many people saw this go down?
His family was at home. His wife and his children were at home when it happened, so they saw it, and there are other eyewitnesses who saw it. He was picked up by 15 to 20 people. It seems to be people who were dressed in plain clothes, as well as police officers who picked him up and disappeared him. His whereabouts are unknown. His family has not been able to find out where he's being kept. Shehzad Akbar, the lawyer, did file something on his behalf in the Lahore court, and the court has ordered the intelligence agencies now to produce him by February 20th before the court. So we have to wait for that date and see what happens. But the best scenario would be that he is released before then.
And Karim Khan moved from Waziristan to Rawalpindi. Can you talk about the significance of the area from which he was picked up, and whether it's significant that, or whether it's widely believed that the people who were responsible for picking him up were the ISI, the intelligence services, or the military, or a combination?
I mean, I think it is significant. It speaks to the nature of, again, it speaks to the nature of state violence in Pakistan. I think the news media, both in the United States and in Pakistan, has been, and rightly so, discussing the attacks by militants that have happened in Pakistan, and those have been reprehensible. Just 2 days ago, there was a bomb blast in a Peshawar cinema that killed anywhere between 11 to 13 people. But it's important to realize that that violence happens in a context, and that context is state violence, which has been brutal in the sense of it's very quiet. There are disappearances like this. In this case, it's a high-profile activist, but there are many people who we don't even know have been picked up and disappeared by the state. So it is, there's a cyclical pattern between state violence and the non-state violence that is happening in Pakistan.
Madiha, talk about what he would say if he did get out. Where was he going in Europe? Who was he going to be addressing?
Karim Khan was actually slated to speak to several European parliaments next week. And he was going to talk about the drone attack that killed his son and his brother on New Year's Eve in 2009. And he would have talked about the cost of these attacks on the people in the tribal areas in Pakistan, who are some of the most marginalized communities in Pakistan, simply for wanting to speak out about what happened to him and what is happening and continues to happen in that area. He has been disappeared by the Pakistani state. And certainly, I think, we shouldn't forget that the United States has backed and funded the Pakistani military, and this is happening in conjunction with these states working together, both Pakistan and the United States.